At the beginning of the film, we observe a woman running a police station. Before work, Murphy looks into the room where her child, whom she lost, used to live. The action transferred to the main character's home. His pregnant wife, Paige, is feeding their dog. Will is about to go to work, and today will be his first day at the police station, and in a new city. The man is greeted by Murphy. She also informs him that rookies work with an experienced partner for the first time. Will meets his colleague, who will help him. Terry turns out to be a self-confident guy. He is not married, but has one woman in mind, whom he visits often. On the way to the patrol zone, Terry gives the rookie 3 pieces of advice. Don't take anyone's life unnecessarily. Respect Murphy since she lost her adopted child, and find a hobby. The guy explains that there aren't a lot of interesting things to do in their town, and for Will not to wither, he definitely needs a hobby. Terry himself fishes, learns Chinese, and also plays guitar in his rock band. The guy brings Will to a couple of coffee shops, where they are given a warm welcome and free drinks. Terry also learns that the newcomer's father was a bank manager and came up with the robbery scheme that landed him in jail. Paige, meanwhile, is sorting out her things and working. Finished with her chores, the girl decides to go to the shop to get some paint. The salesman tells Paige about the Irishman, a creepy type who can do any dirty job. Meanwhile, Terry stops the car at a strange house. It turns out that the partner is dating a married woman of Asian appearance. Going to her, Terry asks the newcomer to sit in the car and honk if his mistress's husband decides to return. Will listens to music and learns Chinese, but this doesn't save him from boredom. Soon, the man receives a message about a life-threatening emergency call. Will tries to shout to his partner, but he is too busy with his mistress. Resigned, the rookie decides to go to the call without Terry. Will enters the house where, as he realizes, a robbery is to be committed. The man spots Deborah with a knife and instinctively shoots. The terrified woman screams that this is her house and she didn't call the police. Deborah pounces on an uninvited guest, and during the scuffle, she accidentally dies after falling on a broken table leg. Will panics and doesn't know what to do. Terry soon arrives and is shocked by what has happened. The man says that Will misunderstood the code, because in fact Deborah complained about teenagers making love on the neighboring property. Terry soon finds $1 million, which very changes the case. The guy offers to pretend as if they checked the call and left for work, and meanwhile, Deborah is attacked by robbers who take her life. An unsuspecting Paige, meanwhile, paints the children's room and cooks dinner. Soon, Terry and a partner leave Deborah's house, having done everything according to plan. Will says that there was a bicycle parked outside the house that has disappeared. Despite this fact, Terry offers to go to work. The guy stops a car, the driver of which communicates with him rather unflatteringly. The woman calls Terry a loser and a failure. Soon, the partners receive a call regarding what happened to Deborah. Murphy interrogates her husband. To the newcomer's surprise, the man says nothing is missing from the house. Also, Deborah's husband mentions that a masseur may have visited her during the day. The partners try to convince Murphy that it was the spouse who committed the crime. In the evening, Terry and the partner hide the money in a container and discuss the husband's behavior. It seems to them that he knew about the money but, for some reason, decided to keep silent. Will offers to split the loot when things settle down. Upon returning home, a depressed man says that he and Paige have some things to discuss. Will talks about what happened with Deborah. However, the man lies about Terry being the cause of her accidental passing. Murphy, on the other hand, spends the evening at a bar. Guests and her friends speculate that the mysterious masseur is to blame for what happened to Deborah. Murphy sees the woman who was fined by Terry during the day. Murphy is alarmed that the time given on the fine is the same time as Deborah's death. The action transferred to the mysterious masseur. The man was upstairs in Deborah's house when he heard a strange noise. Looking out, Kit noticed 2 policemen making a mess. To avoid giving away his presence, the man climbs outside through the window and rides away on a bicycle. The day after the incident, the partners go to see Kit. Through comments made by his mother, Terry and the partner learn that the man sometimes provided Deborah with services other than massages. Will surmises that Kit saw them but chose to keep quiet. The newcomer also reveals that Paige has invited Terry for dinner. Next, the action transferred to Deborah's husband. It turns out that Walter has long had a mistress, with whom they will now be able to be together. At work, the man receives a phone call from a certain Colombian, and the action transferred to him. It turns out that after Deborah's death, The man broke into her house and realized that the money in the basket had been stolen. In the evening, the victim's husband goes to meet with the Colombian. Walter yells that they shouldn't have met, as he ordered his wife out and left payment for it in the basket. The Colombian reports that when he arrived, Deborah was no longer alive, and the basket was empty. The man demands that Walter pay him anyway. Otherwise, the Colombian threatens to harm the man. Walter only has 48 hours to pay. Will and his wife, meanwhile, prepare for the arrival of a guest. Paige says she has to see Terry to see if he can be trusted. Soon the guy comes and enters the house. Over dinner, Terry tells her that when he was a teenager, a classmate used to harass him a lot. After becoming a policeman, the guy followed him and punished him severely. Soon it is time to say goodbye. Terry goes outside and gets into the car. Paige says that the guy seemed too nervous to her. At the same moment, a strange sound is heard outside. Paige runs out and sees that Terry, backing up, didn't see the dog and accidentally ran it over. Before going to bed, a crying girl asks for the code to the money vault in case something happens to Will. At work, Terry apologizes to his partner. The guy is genuinely sorry for the dog. He also admits that he is rarely invited to visit, and last night was a very warm experience for him. Will says that after a while they will invite him for dinner again. Soon the partners are called in to see Murphy. The boss tells them that Deborah's life was insured for a large sum of money. Murphy asks the newcomer and Terry to check Walter more thoroughly and his possible involvement in the incident. The partners interview an employee of the hotel where the man sometimes stayed and learn that at the same time with him, another room was always rented by his secretary. Terry realizes they have found a motive. Meanwhile, Murphy receives a call from the research team. The co-workers find it strange that there are so many traces of Terry and his partner in the house. Murphy calls the rookie and Terry over to his office. The partners immediately say that they have been in the house for quite some time. When Deborah finds out that Will's wife is expecting a baby, she starts talking non-stop. Terry talks about the affair with the secretary and believes they have found the criminal. However, the cameras in Walter's office confirm his innocence. Paige, meanwhile, is driving her car when Terry stops her. The guy apologizes again for the dog and says that the girl should be more careful as she is not alone now. When Terry leaves, Paige can't hold back her tears. The girl goes to the paint shop where Irish left his number. Paige contacts the man and hires him to eliminate Terry. After the deal, the girl drives to the money vault and takes the money with her. In the evening, Walter ponders where he can get the money. His secretary suggests thinking about who could have taken it, and suspicion falls on Kit. The man who wakes up in the night also thinks of Kit, and realizes that he has definitely seen them. Will gets out of bed and is about to drive to the masseur. Meanwhile, a masked man suddenly attacks Terry. Paige's hired Irishman does everything he can to take the policeman's life. However, Terry's mistress injures the criminal. Taking advantage of the Irishman's confusion, the guy throws him into the water. Will observes the house of Kit, who is about to leave. Unexpectedly, Walter drives up and threatens the man, but his mother defends him. The secretary of the bereaved Walter destroys Kit and his mother. Shocked by what happened, Will drives away from the crime scene, not knowing that the car with the Colombian was behind him. The man drives to Terry, who points a gun at him. The guy is convinced that Will is the one who ordered him. Terry informs them that they need a ride. Terry's patrol car is followed by Murphy, who is alarmed by his route. The guy brings Will to the container, where it turns out there's no money. Terry thinks Paige took it. The guy also mentions that he immediately guessed the check at dinner. It turns out that Terry hit the dog on purpose to warn Paige. The guy demands that Will call his wife and tell her he's come for the money. But it's gone. Paige admits that she took the money because Terry is dangerous, and besides, it was he who took Deborah's life. Shocked by such a lie, the guy destroys Will, screaming that he betrayed him and wanted to frame him. Terry leaves, heading for the girl's house. Paige, on the other hand, tries to leave the town with the money, and Murphy finds a breathless Will by the container. On the phone, Paige tells Murphy what really happened to Deborah. The boss informs all posts that Terry is very dangerous. Paige rushes to the ferry, however, it is canceled due to bad weather. Terry knocks on the window, and the girl pushes him in with the door. Paige tries to hide, but the guy catches up with her. Pointing a gun at the girl, Terry says that it was Will who took Deborah's life. After that, the guy is shot by Murphy, saving Paige in this way. The girl starts to go into labor. Murphy takes her to the hospital, where Will's child is born. The woman reassures Paige, telling her that her baby is fine. As Murphy leaves, a disguised Colombian massacres Paige and takes all the money. In the lift, the man runs into Walder's secretary, and they take each other's lives because of the money. After a while, Murphy raises Paige and Will's child. The woman doesn't understand why people around her have become so insatiable, and committed so many atrocities in a short period of time. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.